So now I'm going to do a part 1 and part 2 of the digital drawing from composite imagery assignment. This, of course, is part 1. Where I'm starting this time for my new drawing is in the gallery area of the app. So you can see the folders up above and the drawings that I've worked on down below. So this is what houses all of your work. I'm going to scroll up and down so you can see that. I'm going to go to the plus sign at the bottom, press on it, and from there do new sketch. Press create, and here I go, voila. If I pinch it down, you can see that's the size of the parameters of my canvas. Bring it back up, and that's what I've got. Okay, so we're opening a new document from a different area this time. So what I'd like you to do in this assignment is tone the canvas or paper from the beginning a light gray color. In the exercise, we learned how to do that from going to the circle area in the first layer, then picking our color or value from there, and then which will automatically tone that background. I had asked for a light gray, as you can see in my neutral gray category. So these are warm and cool grays. This is neutral. You can see the top row is light. Towards the bottom, it gets a little darker. I'm going to pick something like the T4 or T5 range is good, so I'm going to pick T4 and give myself kind of a lighter, light to mid tone on the back of this, just like you would do with toned paper or even if you were painting and toning a canvas. You can also see that the app has automatically given me a blank layer to work on top of that. But instead of using that, I'm actually going to go over to the photo area or the import photo button on the top menu, and I'm going to start with something from my photo album to get this drawing going. So I pressed on that. It brought me right into my iPhoto library. Depending on where you're working, it's going to bring you right to your photo library as well. I'm going to go ahead and just start with some sort of simple landscape. I have a few different pictures, so let me scroll up and down here. That's good. This is some of the hikes that I do. It's got middle ground, background, foreground, nice little path. I can pinch it down a little bit if I wanted to change the composition or add more or less if I wanted to zoom in, but I'm going to kind of keep it as is. So I'm going to pinch it out there. You can twist it too, and press done. Okay, you can see it automatically went on top of the layer, the blank layer that the app already gave me. I don't really want it there. I want to trace on top of it, so I'm going to go ahead and put my finger on it and drag it below. If you're not on a touch screen, you can use your mouse to click and drag. That will work just the same. If you have some sort of stylus, you can use that as well. I'm now going to click on the layer, and I'm going to take down the opacity so that it looks like I put tracing paper or a light box on top of it. And when I'm done with that, I'm actually going to press on the layer above so I know that that's the layer that I'm working on. Okay? Now, I've asked you to trace in pencil, so I'm going to go over to the library area, and as you can see, there's all these different kinds of brushes that you can use. We didn't talk about that in the exercise, but I'm going to show them to you here. They range from illustration type kits, so pens, markers, spray paint, airbrushes, that sort of thing, to fine art brushes down here, so oils, synthetic, things like that, okay? Here it kind of shows, it gives you some, as you can see as I go to the side, whatever brush it's on, it will give you the settings, how big, how you want it to flow, what shape it is, so on and so forth. I'm going to go just to the pencil kit because I want to trace. I'm going to press on a 4H pencil, probably too late, I can do 3H, and then press this pin here, and you can see all that's loaded up now is pencils. Now I have to give it a color. Probably something graphite-y, so I'm going to look for a darker gray, and this is going to be my first tracing layer. So I'm going to go up here, get rid of all my tools, and start outlining. Now you can see my line is really small, so I might want to just bring up the size and make sure that I'm all the way up to the highest opacity so we can really see my pencil. There we go, that's a little bit better. Okay, now we can really see. Now I'm going to go ahead and trace the shadows, some of the key shadows. Make sure I trace where all the grasses are. Outrange it back. maybe some of the branches. Anything that you think is important in the image. Okay. And I'm going to toggle the visibility off, so that eyeball that's in the upper left-hand corner of all the layers is the visibility. And then when I take it off, when I press on it and a slash mark goes through it, that means I can't see what's on there anymore, and that's called toggling the visibility. So if I take the tools away, you can see those are my outlines. Pretty good. Okay. I'm going to keep the visibility off of the photo. I'm going to actually now go in and look for a drawing this time. So I want you to import one photo and one drawing. Now this can be of your choice. It can be something in class, or it can be something that you make up for this particular drawing. So I'm going to actually, this might be kind of interesting. I'm going to take something from my collage. We're going to see what happens there. This wash and stipple bit. That's kind of cool. I can actually, and I'll show you, I can actually take parts of this, maybe the onions or something like that, and I can kind of copy and paste and repeat it if I want to too. So I'm going to go ahead and put this guy in there, press done, and I'm going to create a new layer on top of that. I'm going to go back to the original and again take down the opacity. Okay, so that I can see my drawing underneath and what I'm going to do and how I'm going to make these images integrate. So still using a pencil, but I might actually go to a harder pencil like an HB. And I'm going to go back up to the other tracing layer, and I'm going to start tracing those contour onions that I created. Here you can also change your drawing if you want. Get rid of this broccoli area. Now I'm going to go back to the photo layer. I'm going to go to that move tool or the transform, and I'm going to actually move it around. So I can see how much versatility I have here. I can actually flip it if I want to and get these onions to sit somewhere else and also shrink them down. So these are some options that you have. Twist it around. I'm rotating it. That's what I'm doing here. Here is good. And then I can also mirror flip, that sort of thing. And press done and go back to my tracing layer and trace my onions in the new position, the contour onions. Okay, some of these are in the back too. I'll kind of add them. Broccoli one. I'm going to toggle the visibility off and see how I like that. Oh, I kind of like it. So I'm going to leave it as is for now. Okay, so I'm happy with what's happened here. I like how I've merged my drawing with the original image. And so I'm going to go ahead and now delete the photo layer of my drawing. And I'm going to delete the photo layer of my landscape. I'm going to go to my topmost layer. Again, look at the layer commands. Press it so they come out. And I'm going to say merge all. Great, and so now I just have one layer, one drawing that I can work with. We're going to stop you here for now, and then in part 2, I'm going to talk about what you're going to do from here.